And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Got to get there. So hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because, well, today, at least some good things are happening. Because right now, Trump is currently in the Middle East. Specifically, just left Israel and now on his way to Egypt to welcome back the Israeli hostages and to speak at the Israeli parliament. Now, Trump, I want to be clear, is the first U.S. president to do so since George W. Bush in 2008. Now, by 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Hamas released the final 20 hostages that were still alive, and Israel released approximately 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. Now, while this is a wonderful achievement and a wonderful step in the right direction, Israel and Hamas, they still haven't agreed on the next steps regarding Gaza. Now, I want to be very, very clear about this. I have always said that I will recognize, as I do today in my Substack post, when Trump has a win. And overseeing the ceasefire is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. But that, of course, being said, what I would recommend to Trump and the enablers, focus on the win and avoid these usual rants and weaves. Because during his speech to the Israeli parliament, also known as the Knesset, he spoke about, Joe Biden and Barack Obama, instead of just focusing on the greatness of the accomplishment, because it is great. Trump even suggested that Benjamin Netanyahu should be pardoned. As remember, Netanyahu is right now still on active trial. Just right overall idea, just wrong timing. Play the clip.
The good men right here. These two men are good men right here. Hey, I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? By the way, that was not in the speech, as you probably know. But I happen to like this gentleman right over here, and it just seems to make so much sense. You know, whether we like it or not, this has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. This has been one of the greatest wartime presidents. And cigars and champagne, who the hell cares about that? All right, enough controversy for the day, right? Actually, I don't think it's very controversial. So, I see so popular. You are a very popular man. You know why? Because you know how to win.
Yeah. Look, again, while we watch the Knesset applauding these, what's the way to describe it, these comments from our president, I assure you the reaction outside of Parliament is not the same. Bibi is wildly unpopular. At least he was at least one day ago. Now, Bibi's AI post went hand in hand with Trump's compliment. Let me show you what it says. In it, it turns around and says, this is from Prime Minister of Israel. This is a Donald Trump post. Give real Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves it. With, of course, the Nobel Peace Prize hanging around Trump's neck. Now, while on Air Force One, reporter goes on and asks Trump about Israelis booing Netanyahu. Play that clip.
When Steve Witkoff was in Hostages Square last night, he mentioned Prime Minister Netanyahu and the crowd booed. I wondered if you saw that and what you made of that.
I also saw the crowd cheer when he mentioned Trump, like really cheer, and it's an honor. No, as I said, I think Bibi did a great job. I had some words with him a couple of times where I didn't agree, and he was always, he was the right guy at the right time.
Right, except the question was about Israelis booing Netanyahu, not cheering you. And by the way, they should be cheering you. They should be cheering you and the entire delegation, every single person that helped to bring these 20 hostages, these alive hostages back, should all be acknowledged, thanked, and cheered. And during his speech at Parliament, Trump was interrupted, believe it or not, by a protester. Play that clip.
Somehow can relate to him. I've known him for many years, and I've seen it over and over again.
להוציא את חבר הכנסת עודה, להוציא אותו מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד, החוצה, החוצה.
Please expel this Knesset member. Please expel this Knesset member.
להוציא גם את חבר הכנסת כסיף. להוציא את חבר הכנסת כסיף מהאולם.
Expel Knesset member Kasif out of the hall.
Yeah. And by the way, stupid on his part. I don't care whether he wants complete and total destruction of Gaza at this point in time, or he believes in the two-state. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he was protesting. Whatever it is, today was supposed to be a major day of celebration. And I can't imagine that he thought, and he should be removed from the Knesset permanently, that he thought that this was a good thing at the moment. Just stupid. Trump continued, of course, to ramble on about, again, the Department of War and the amount of wars that he has resolved. Play that clip.
And as you know, we decisively won World War I. We decisively won World War II decisively. And everything in between and everything before it, we won everything. And then they had the brilliant idea of changing the name from war, it was war, to defense. And with that went a certain thinking. And we fought in a very politically correct way after that. We always had the strongest military, and now we have a stronger military than we've ever had before. Because of my first term, I've totally rebuilt the military, every aspect of it. But we have, if you think, we settled 8 wars in 8 months. I'm now including this one, by the way, if that's okay. They may say, well, that was quick, because yesterday I was saying 7, but now I can say 8. The hostages are back. The hostages are back.
Yeah. Again, today was such a great day, and there were so many important things that could have and should have, and some were actually said. But talking about the changing of the name from Department of Defense to Department of War, and how many wars America has been in, along with the rest of the world, and how we've all decided, because World War I wasn't fought by the United States, it was fought by the world, hence the term. World War II involved much more than the United States, who came in pretty much towards the end. I don't understand the relevance and why they decided to even include this. But he goes on and says that if we get into a war ourselves, we will not be politically correct. Play that clip.
But it also means this name change and our attitude that we're not going to go into a war. But if we do, we're going to win that war like nobody has ever won a war before. We will not be politically correct, but we're not going to be there. And I think, as you mentioned, Bibi, before, peace through strength. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, peace through strength. But is this really the moment? And then, of course, to make things even worse, he can't handle Obama and he can't handle Biden. So what do you need to do? Embarrass them, say ridiculous things on the world stage, and rag on them. Instead, why don't we just, for God's sakes, just focus on the return of the hostages? Meanwhile, he said that this peace deal could have and should have happened a long time ago. Play the clip.
A year ago, the United States of America was a dead country. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. It is the hottest. There's no question about it. In fact, if you go back a year ago, before the election, although once we had November 5th, we became hot because people got it. I would say November 5th was a time that we became really hot. But once you go back a couple of years, if I were in charge and the country was doing what they, nobody was going to ask me to speak. Nobody asked Joe Biden to come up and speak, I guarantee you that. And if they did, he would have turned them down, I promise you. He didn't speak. He didn't speak, and he didn't speak well. But all of the countries in the Middle East, it could have, what we're doing now, it could have happened a long time ago, but it was strangled and set back almost irretrievably by the administrations of Barack Obama and then Joe Biden. There was a hatred toward Israel. There was an absolute hatred. The setbacks really started when President Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal. This was a disaster for Israel, and it was a disaster for everyone. And I remember that Bibi Netanyahu came to the United States and worked so hard to try and get Obama not to do that deal. He worked so hard.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while on Air Force One heading to Israel, Trump actually admitted that he probably won't be getting into heaven. Again, why? Play the clip.
Go ahead.
You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but
Well, at least then we'll be reunited, my friend. Meanwhile, he's also asked about his stance on China, right? Specifically after his long rant on Truth Social, which took place on Friday. Play that clip.
So, President, November 1st, 100% tariffs on China is what you said. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, right now it is. Yeah, let's see what happens. For me, you know what November 1st is? An eternity. November 1st is an eternity for me.
So there's
For somebody
negotiating.
else, it's right around the corner. For me, when I hear November 1st, it's an eternity. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That was one thing that I definitely learned while I was at the Trump Organization. Tomorrow, okay, that's very close. But a week from now, or 2 weeks, or a month? Nah, that seems like eternity. He also posted this on Truth Social. Well, looks like another 2-week situation may be coming. Let me show you what he wrote. In it, he writes, "Don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. President DJT." Well, my friends, let me say this. In my Substack of today, I call Trump's Chaos Breeds Calm. I end the Substack by turning around and saying the following. Because tomorrow, the noise will return, the investigations that's going on here, the shutdown, the headlines. But today, America reminded the world who we are when we rise above the dysfunction. A nation that, for all its flaws, can still be a force for peace. And for all our darkness, there's still light left in us. And maybe, just maybe, it's enough to start over again. And with that, I say thank you for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.